Do you disagree with the three strikes law, or?
Yeah, I highly disagree with it, bro, because it was built to oppress the black American race.
How so?
So the reason why is because since African Americans are predisposed to living in
guys, ready to go?
the problem with the African American community is they're predisposed to live in areas of low income, which basically means they have to find means to survive, whether that's having to steal food from a liquor store or
Nobody has to steal anything, dude.
yeah. So the problem with the three strikes rule was
You think crime in the black community is because they live in poor places?
I think it has to do with it, bro. Because if you look at the statistics, black Americans only take up about 10% or lower than the U.S. population. But
About 13, yeah.
13, 14.
14%, right? But if you look at the U.S. prisons, they're about like almost 30, 40% of the U.S. prison population.
What do you think the reason for that is?
Well, I think it's multiple reasons. I think it's due to cultural.
Do you think they're more prone to committing crime?
I think partly yes, but also
That's actually a racist statement you're making.
I wouldn't say they're more prone to commit crimes. I just say they put in situations where they have to survive.
No one has to commit a crime, bro.
If you get what I'm saying?
So you're making an excuse for their actions, basically.
No,
because of how they grew up.
I'm not making an excuse for them. I'm just saying.
Well, I mean, you're giving a pass to them. You're saying because they grew up in a place where they don't have a lot of money, therefore that's why they commit crimes.
Sometimes, bro, it's better to go to jail than starve and die, And
A lot of people do like
Yeah.
living in jail, than they prefer
they get
other
free
than being out.
meals. Yeah,
And they get health care.
yeah,
On our dime, the taxpayers' dime.
yeah.
So let me tell you the biggest problem with the black population is 75% of the children that are black are born without a father.
Single mom.
Single mother household.
Yeah.
So that's the biggest problem. And we've seen it. We've seen it get worse and worse.
Barack Obama didn't have a dad either, and look where he went. I love Barack Obama. Even though the Democrat Party right now is not as great as it used to be, I have a lot of respect for Barack Obama, and I'll never disrespect that guy because he changed a lot of the game, and he basically said that you don't have to be a white guy to be president.
What do you think he did?
Nobody's
that
ever
you
said
like?
that.
But has there been a minority president before Obama? They were all white, right? Come from rich families, right?
So the reason why you think he's great is because he wasn't white?
Yeah, it's part of it because he changed.
That's all it takes?
Yeah. Are you guys familiar with Greek life, with the fraternities, the history of fraternities and universities?
Yeah.
Okay. So prior to the 1920s, all fraternities were predominantly white, and if you were black, Hispanic, or Asian, you had a very low chance of getting into any fraternity.
Kind of like DEI. It's excluding white people from things or people who aren't certain colors.
No, let me finish.
Well, no, that's exactly what it is.
So look, the reason I bring that up is because just like how Obama was able to bring presidency, fraternities started popping out in the 1910s, early 1900s. Alpha Phi Alpha, Omega Psi Phi, the Kappa Alpha Psi. All these fraternities were created so that African Americans could also, group and congregate.
That sounds like segregation to me.
It's not segregation, bro, because they were already excluded by the white Americans in the South states. And the North States as well.
But you see how, I know you don't know a lot about DEI, but can you see how something that excludes someone is racist?
But the problem is...
No, but
are black-only groups wrong?
No, they're not.
What?
Because they were created for a reason.
Bro, do you know how long it took for us to get out of Jim Crow laws?
Do you know how many African Americans go to this school?
It's irrelevant to me.
Exactly. They're an irrelevant number because African Americans statistically have a lower chance of going to universities than other races.
So are you saying that black people are oppressed right now?
Yeah.
But by what? What specifically?
They've always been oppressed because of the color of their skin.
But
since
how?
The dawn of time, America...
Like right now, what laws do black people have or not have that everyone else has?
It's not laws, it's just statistics. If you look at being an African American, your chances of getting pulled over are higher. Your chances of just being...
So there's statistics that say that cops look at the color of your skin before they pull you over, and there's a hole.
No, I don't think it's directly like that.
It's not a statistic.
But do you see white Americans getting their necks suffocated, like say George Floyd? Like, I'm gonna use that for example.
George Floyd died from fentanyl overdose.
Has there ever been a white American that got choked out by a cop? I've never seen it before.
So because you've never seen it, it hasn't happened?
I'm sure it's happened, but it doesn't happen as much as African Americans.
So now you're making a claim. If you can back that claim up with some kind of statistic.
There's a lot of statistics out there.
Give me one.
I don't have them at the top of my head, but one statistic I can give you.
What you're doing is you're making generalizations. You read a book, and that's great. and you're making generalizations about everything because of one book that you read and because some things that you see.
I don't claim
that's actually a fallacy. So you should be careful to do that. Because that's not the right way to look at things.
I don't claim to be an expert on this topic. I agree that white Americans have also started to be oppressed. Just like how back in the day, in the 1900s or in the 1800s, it was the opposite, where African Americans were the ones that got stepped on. But it's starting to change. And it also, one cool thing I like though about the American population is if you look at the statistics, let's say in the 1911, right, like 100 years ago, white Americans were 90% of the population, and that number is decreasing every year because of the Latin population especially, and other minorities. So if you look at today's date, if you look at the U.S. Census in 2020 or 2024, white Americans, instead of making 90% that they used to make, it's almost like 55%. It's a lot lower.
55 to 60% right now.
Yeah. So
what does it have to do with your argument, though?
I think it's a great progression in this nation because.
Are you saying we should have less white people because it's better for everyone else?
No, I think we should have a mix of every
race.
That's
a fascist thing, actually, that you're saying, like Hitler. That's what Hitler said. If we had less of these people, then we would be better off.
I think
so you got to be careful making that argument.
All right, look, it's like, have you ever had ice cream before? Let's say I got you a Haagen-Dazs, right? I got you the same fucking Haagen-Dazs for a year straight. Wouldn't you get tired of that same Haagen-Dazs you had every single day?
So you're tired of white people?
No. I'm saying each one. What if I gave you a chocolate ice cream? I gave you a chocolate ice cream, you ate that same single day?
I'm not following with the point you're trying to make.
The point I'm making is that diversity is important, and it's good for growth and success. That's all I have to say.
Give me an example of how that's true.
Diversity?
Sure.
Okay.
Again, I'm just you're making big claims, so I'm just asking you to give me something.
On par with Hitler at that.
Do you know who invented that chip in the iPhone? Not the iPhone itself, but the NVIDIA RTX. The NVIDIA that makes make phone calls and use the internet. Mm-hmm. That was invented by an Asian American.
Okay.
And
who are also being oppressed by DEI right now, by the way.
So but I'm still waiting to get to your point. Like
my point is that diversity is important. You agree?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Do you agree that diversity is important? We should have more diversity in this country?
As a sole claim unrelated to the debate, yes, I do.
There you go.
But you said because it's better for the country to have less white people. You said now it's down to 55% and that's better. But I'd like you to explain how that's better.
Because before the 2000s, the country used to be 80, 90% white. It was all, there wasn't any diversity. But now that we have more diversity, I think it's good. I think it's really good.
But again, you're still not making a point. You said it's better that we have less white people. Why?
Not necessarily better we have less white people. I'm saying it's better that we have more of other ethnicities.
Which means
because the white
right?
population hasn't decreased. White people aren't leaving the country. There's just other races.
But again, just to come back to your point, how is it better to have less white people?
I think it's better to have other races, not just all Caucasian, because you have other minds that think differently.
So in your dreamland, what percentage of white population would you be comfortable with having in America? Where you say it would be the best?
In an ideal country, in an ideal world, every race had an equal amount. I think that'd be good.
Okay, so we had to get white people down to like what, 10%?
Or whatever.
How do you do that?
Whatever
How do you tell if
are.
someone's white or not? Because there's white passing Latin.
Exactly.
So you're actually talking fascist right now. That's literally.
You're on par with what Hitler.
Yeah, bro. This is pretty wild.
I mean, I'm not gonna send people to concentration camps. That's different, bro.
How do you prevent a certain race from growing?
You can help other races grow and become more successful, but you can't.
But don't help the other ones.
Look, bro. The Caucasian race is doing fine. They make the most money out of any race in the world.
No,
Asian Americans.
I'm talking globally. Europe. I'm not talking in America. I'm talking globally.
What does that mean?
Yeah. Globally.
You're talking about you got to explain that to me.
Okay. Have you guys ever looked at the list of the top 10 billionaires, the top 10 richest people in the world?
Yeah, the number one is South African.
But what race are all 10 of them?
What race?
Yeah.
African.
But what color of their skin?
Okay, so you're talking about skin color now. So that's
somebody's
more
skin
racist.
color could be different than their race, bro.
I'm just saying.
So you're making a lot of racist statements.
I'm just saying.
But
there's white Africans.
Yeah.
You think you're being nice and talking about diversity as something beneficial, but you're actually being extremely racist, and you may not even realize it yourself.
Okay, so look, as a history, I'm just curious. I'm just curious to hear from you guys, like a little more about yourselves, and I'll elaborate myself too. Where do your guys' families come from? Because my families, they're immigrants. My grandparents came here illegally, and now I'm here.
But again, the claim you're making is that we're better off because there's less white people. Number one, that's a
Nah, I never made that claim. I never said we're better off.
you said we're
The
better now than we
the
were.
percentage of white
Hold on.
people in America has gone down, and you said that's good.
I said that it's
You
better
said we're
that we
better
have
now.
more of other races and ethnicities.
How?
That's better.
Sure. And then because you said we've gone down, the amount of white people in the country have
Yeah,
gone
it's-
down,
it's
so the
going
country
down.
is better.
There's
Do you
nothing
really
I can
think
do
the
about that.
Sorry. When were you born? What year?
I was born in 2005.
Okay. So how do you know what it was like before you were born?
I don't know. It's like only
Okay,
what
but
my
you're
parents
making
told me.
another big claim that it's better now.
History is for people that weren't around in that time. That's what history teaches us. That's why they write history books about Hitler, about Joseph
So
Stalin.
you've read a history
about-
book that says
about
things are
Ronald
better now than it
Reagan,
was in the 2000s?
about George Washington.
Sorry. So you've read something that says that America is better now than it was in the early 2000s or in the 90s?
Yeah, we have the higher life expectancy.
So
The national
that's
life
your basis?
expectancy. Yeah.
That's your one basis?
Why wouldn't you want to live a longer life?
And is that due to diversity? You think we're living
That's
longer
due
'cause there's more?
to multiple factors. That's due to modern health.
Okay, but is it due to
modern
diversity?
diet. It's due to multiple factors.
But is it due to diversity?
If you look at the life expectancies of minorities,
Again, is it due to diversity?
The African American life expectancy at one point in the U.S. was only 45 years.
Sure, but again,
look at it
is
now; it's 70 years.
Is this due to diversity or other factors?
It's due to everything, not just diversity. It's
Okay,
due to
but you're
mix.
making a claim why it was better, why it's better now than before, and you use that we're living longer.
Look, if you're trying to hold that claim against me that I didn't make, like it's totally fine. I never said that less white people is better. I just
I'm
said
just trying to figure out what point you're
You
making.
said by proportion, it's better that there's a higher propensity of minorities
Yeah.
than white people.
not just than white people. I just said it's higher. It's better if the U.S. especially has more higher population of minorities that it needs.
And that's based off what? Your opinion?
It's based off my opinion, yeah.
Okay,
Because I
and
can
what's your
have my
opinion
opinion.
based off, though?
The First Amendment allows me to have an opinion.
Sure, but what's your opinion based off?
It's based off of history.
Which
it's
history?
It's based off of many factors.
Like what? Give me one.
Okay, I just told you one earlier.
About
Like
us
I
living
said,
longer?
No, the life expectancy.
Yeah, us
The
living
U.S.
longer.
life expectancy has increased
And
dramatically.
you're attributing that to diversity.
If you look at inventions that we use,
But you can't give
modern
me an example
inventions,
of what that means.
Do you know who the sweatshirt was invented by? The hoodie sweatshirt.
Again,
It was
does that help us
invented by
living longer?
Hispanic American who worked
Okay.
for Champion.